You've probably driven past one. Maybe you've even stayed in one. That orange roof, those 28 flavors of ice cream, that distinctive turquoise and orange sign that once meant quality, affordability, and a taste of the American road trip. Howard Johnson's wasn't just a restaurant chain or a hotel brand. It was an institution, a symbol of mid-century American optimism and the promise of the open road. At its peak in the 1960s and 70s, Howard Johnson's operated over 1,000 restaurants and 500 motor lodges across North America. It was the largest restaurant chain in the United States, bigger than McDonald's. It pioneered the franchise model, standardized quality control, and helped define what American family dining could be. But by 2022, it was over. The last Howard Johnson's restaurant closed its doors, and the hotel brand filed for bankruptcy, ending a legacy that spanned nearly a century. Today, we're diving deep into the rise and spectacular fall of Howard Johnson's, exploring how an empire built on ice cream and orange roofs crumbled into obscurity. This is the story of American ambition, changing tastes, corporate mismanagement, and what happens when you stop innovating. The Golden Age. To understand the fall, we need to understand the rise. Howard Deering Johnson opened his first ice cream shop in Quincy, Massachusetts in 1925. His innovation was simple but revolutionary. He doubled the butterfat content in his ice cream, making it richer and more flavorful than anything else on the market. He also offered 28 flavors, an unheard of variety at the time when most shops offered 3 or 4. But Johnson was more than an ice cream maker. He was a visionary businessman. In 1935, he pioneered the modern restaurant franchise model, licensing his name and business system to independent operators. This was before Ray Kroc ever heard of McDonald's. Howard Johnson essentially invented the playbook that would define American fast food. The highway expansion. The timing couldn't have been better. In 1956, President Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, creating the interstate highway system. As Americans took to the roads in unprecedented numbers, they needed places to eat and sleep. Howard Johnson's was there, positioning its distinctive orange-roofed restaurants at strategic highway exits across the country. The company's slogan said it all: host to the highways. By the early 1960s, a Howard Johnson's meal was served every 3 seconds somewhere in America. The company had become synonymous with reliability and consistency. Whether you were in Maine or California, you knew exactly what you were getting: fried clams, hot dogs, that famous grilled cheese sandwich, and 28 flavors of ice cream. The hotel expansion. In 1954, Howard Johnson's entered the hotel business with its first motor lodge. The hotels followed the same formula as the restaurants: standardization, reliability, and strategic highway locations. By 1975, there were over 500 Howard Johnson's hotels, making it one of the largest lodging chains in America. This was the Golden Age. Howard Johnson's was a cultural touchstone, mentioned in movies, books, and songs. It represented middle-class prosperity, the freedom of automobile travel, and the expanding American dream, changing tastes and new competition. But empires built on consistency can become victims of stagnation. By the 1970s, American tastes were changing. Fast food was getting faster with McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's offering quicker service and lower prices. Meanwhile, casual dining was getting more upscale with chains like Red Lobster and Olive Garden offering more variety and ambience. Howard Johnson's was stuck in the middle. Too slow for fast food, too dated for casual dining. The once revolutionary 28 flavors of ice cream were now competing with Baskin-Robbins' 31 flavors. The orange roofs that once signaled quality and reliability now looked old-fashioned and tired. The corporate carousel. The real problem started when Howard Johnson himself stepped away from the business. In 1959, he began transitioning control to his son, Howard Brennan Johnson. But the younger Johnson lacked his father's innovation and vision. When the founder died in 1972, the company lost its guiding force. What followed was a carousel of corporate ownership that would prove devastating. In 1979, the company was sold to Imperial Group, a British conglomerate. In 1985, it was sold again to Marriott Corporation. Then in 1990, Marriott sold the restaurant division to a different company than the hotel division, splitting the brand in two. Each new owner extracted value, while underinvesting in renovation and innovation. The restaurants grew shabby. The hotels fell behind competitors in amenities. The brand, once synonymous with quality, became associated with decline, failure to adapt. While competitors renovated, updated menus, and embraced new marketing strategies, Howard Johnson's clung to the past. The company failed to modernize its menu to keep up with health-conscious consumers in the 1980s and 90s. It failed to renovate its aging properties. It failed to invest in technology and customer experience improvements. Most critically, it failed to understand that nostalgia alone couldn't sustain a business. Customers who remembered the glory days were aging out, and younger generations had no emotional connection to the brand. To them, Howard Johnson's wasn't a beloved road trip memory. It was just an outdated restaurant with mediocre food. By the late 1990s, the once mighty chain was down to fewer than 100 restaurants. The death spiral had begun. The restaurant extinction. The 2000s saw the near-complete extinction of Howard Johnson's restaurants. One by one, they closed. Some were demolished. Others converted into different businesses. A few simply abandoned, their orange roofs fading in the sun like monuments to a bygone era. By 2010, only about a dozen remained. These holdouts became curiosities, time capsules that attracted nostalgic pilgrims and architecture enthusiasts. Urban explorers photographed abandoned locations. Food historians wrote obituaries for each closure. In 2016, a pivotal moment arrived when the Lake George, New York location closed, leaving just 2 restaurants. Then in 2022, the final chapter was written. The last Howard Johnson's restaurant, located in Lake George, New York, served its final fried clam platter. The restaurant business, which had once been the largest in America, was extinct. The hotel bankruptcy. The hotel side of the business fared only slightly better, but not by much. Wyndham Worldwide had acquired the Howard Johnson's hotel brand in 2006, operating it as one of many brands in its portfolio. But Howard Johnson's name no longer carried the prestige it once did. Properties operating under the Howard Johnson's brand struggled with low occupancy rates and declining revenues. Reviews on travel sites painted a picture of neglect, outdated rooms, poor maintenance, indifferent service. The brand that had once set the standard for motor lodges had become a budget option of last resort. In 2022, amid mounting debts and declining relevance, Howard Johnson's hotel business filed for bankruptcy. While some hotels continue to operate under franchise agreements, the filing marked the end of Howard Johnson's as a significant player in the American hospitality industry. The legacy properties. Today, scattered across America, you can still find remnants of Howard Johnson's empire. Some former restaurants have been repurposed into diners, offices, or retail spaces. Their distinctive architecture is still recognizable. Some hotel properties still operate under the name, though they bear little resemblance to the glory days. These survivors exist in a strange twilight zone, neither fully alive nor completely dead, serving as reminders of what once was. What went wrong? The autopsy. So what killed Howard Johnson's? The answer isn't simple, but several factors stand out. First, there was the failure to innovate. While McDonald's constantly tested new menu items and updated its stores, Howard Johnson's remained frozen in time. The company that had pioneered franchising became a cautionary tale about resting on past innovations. Second, the corporate ownership carousel destroyed continuity and vision. Each new owner was more interested in extracting short-term value than building long-term brand equity. There was no one with Howard Johnson's original passion and vision to guide the company through changing times. Third, there was the rise of new competition on all sides. Fast casual dining chains like Panera and Chipotle offered fresher, healthier options. Traditional fast food got faster and cheaper. Upscale casual dining offered better ambience. Howard Johnson's value proposition simply disappeared. Fourth, changing American travel patterns hurt the highway-focused model. As air travel became more affordable and interstate highway travel less novel, the host of the highways model lost relevance. Modern travelers wanted either ultra-budget options or boutique experiences, not mid-tier mediocrity. Finally, there was the inexorable march of cultural change. The America that made Howard Johnson great The America of post-war prosperity, interstate highways, and nuclear families on road trips was fading into history. New generations had different values, different tastes, different expectations. The broader story, the fall of Howard Johnson's, is part of a larger pattern in American business. We've seen similar stories with Sears, Blockbuster Video, Borders Books, and countless other once dominant brands. These companies fell not because they made one catastrophic mistake, but because they failed to adapt to changing markets, underestimated new competitors, and lost the innovative spirit that made them successful in the first place. There's a particular poignancy to Howard Johnson's decline because it was so tied to a specific vision of American life. The orange roofs and 28 flavors weren't just marketing gimmicks. They represented middle-class prosperity, the freedom of the open road, and the standardization of quality that made America feel connected from coast to coast. When Howard Johnson died, it wasn't just a business failure. It was the end of an era. Final thoughts. Today, if you drive America's highways, you won't see many orange roofs. You'll see golden arches. You'll see Starbucks logos. You'll see Hampton Inns and Holiday Inn Expresses. The landscape has changed, but the story of Howard Johnson's remains relevant. It's a reminder that no brand, no matter how dominant, is immune to disruption. It's a warning about the dangers of complacency and the necessity of constant innovation. It's a lesson about what happens when companies lose sight of what made them special in the first place. For those who remember, Howard Johnson's represents something beyond business success or failure. It represents memories of family road trips, the excitement of travel, the comfort of familiar food in unfamiliar places. That emotional legacy survives, even if the orange roofs are gone. In the end, Howard Johnson's rise and fall is a quintessentially American story. Bold innovation, spectacular success, and eventual decline. It reminds us that in business, as in life, adaptation isn't optional. It's survival. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into business history, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the rise and fall of American brands. And let me know in the comments. Do you remember Howard Johnson's? What's your favorite memory?